How's it going, YouTube? It's been a few weeks since I've done a video and I need to do one. We need to have a little catch up, don't we? Some things have changed since the last video. I've moved house. We've got a garage down there, so once that's all sorted out, it'll be a bit of workshop space, so we can start doing some proper stuff. Hopefully on this again. Everything's parked here, nice and accessible. I've got rid of the Audi. I've swapped that for a little Fiesta. That's my going to work car. That does 1,000,000 miles to the gallon. It's fantastic. It has got a few issues that need sorting out, so we'll probably do some few videos on that. There's an aircon pipe broken and a few other bits. Obviously the main focus is the van and the MR2. I was going to do a video on the MR2 today because what I've done is I've got some grey paint, so I can paint this because this black's chipping off now. I was going to sand this down and just give it a bit of a rattle can spray, and I've got a new sun strip from Status Error to put on, so it was going to be grey all the way back. That was going to be today's job, but during the house move we've got a bit of an issue with that. This is jammed and it's stopped working. If I show you inside what I've done already, and then I'll explain why. Right, I've got stuff stripped out everywhere in here, so I'll need to move some of this stuff. I've got all this back stripped out. Let's have a look. Right, this is more than a little bit depressing because a lot of this stuff isn't designed to come off whilst the door's shut, so it's a bit of a nightmare stripping this down. But I've had to get to the lock mechanism down there because it's jammed. If we have a look at the new lock mechanism that I've bought, I can explain why and what's going on. Here's another issue. We'll have a look at this one in a minute once we've done the back door. Also, there's the new lock mechanism. Got some nice air fresheners from Status Error. That's the rattle can grey, so we'll do that later, and a new sun strip. So we'll sort all that out later. For now, we've got this lock mechanism. Let's take it inside the van and have a look. Right, I'll take this out. Right, just to get my wording right, this is not the lock mechanism, this is the latch mechanism. The lock mechanism is just above this. This is the bit that latches on underneath. Right, so that sits like that under the tailgate. That bit latches around the bit on the body and it holds the door shut. This little lever here has a little metal bit going up that goes to the lock mechanism, which is sat above. So when I pull the handle, it pulls up this lever, releases the latch. What mine's doing is this is jammed and it's not releasing. But to find that out, that took quite a bit of stripping down. I actually thought it was just this little lever come off, and what you can do is you can get a screwdriver in underneath and push that up manually and it opens. You have to cut a little bit of metal out to get to it, which I'll show you later, but that's possible. Mine weren't that. It was this that's jammed up. So what I've got to do is I've got to get my Dremel in and I've got to cut that off. I've had to strip out a load of trims to get to that bit, which is quite annoying because those trims aren't designed to come off with the door shut. We'll have a look at those once the door's open, so they'll need replacing for new ones later. I've got to get in with a Dremel, cut this off, and then we can open the back up, change this, and then hopefully it'll all work again and we can shut it back up. But I've got some repairing to do, which we'll have a look at later. Right, if we have a look back down here again, this is that little metal flap that I was talking about. I had to cut that out with a Dremel, and then you can get underneath and you can flick the latch. That wasn't the issue. So if I bend that back up, you can see underneath, there's the latch. I've got to get in there now with the Dremel and cut that latch off so we can open the back door. It's a bit of a squeeze in here. We'll see what I can do. Right, this is what I've got to cut it off. I've got a little battery Dremel. I've got a cutting disc on it. What I'll do, hopefully I can get it in and I can literally just cut that off across there. Let's see if that works. Right, before I do that, I've had to completely cut this trim out because I couldn't even get the Dremel in. This is the one that goes across the back. This one definitely isn't designed to come out while the door's closed, so I've had to cut that out and destroy it. So there's one trim that I've got to replace. Now it's a lot clearer and I can get in with a Dremel, hopefully. Okay, it's through. Right, so there's the trim I've had to break off. That one I'm going to have to replace. This is alright. There's the little bit I've cut off. Right, I'm going to have to drive this van forward a bit so I can get to this tailgate properly to change this latch. Right, there we are. I cut through that, cut the latch off. Let's have a look inside. Right, this is a little flap I was talking about. I had to cut down there with a Dremel so you could open that up, and then if you have a look inside, that's where it goes onto. So in theory, you just get a screwdriver in there and you just lift that up, and that's when this bit's normally come off or something, or the lock mechanism's broke. You can open it manually that way, but you have to cut this out the way because when it's closed, you can see there's really difficult getting a gap down there. I've had to cut all this carpet off all the way along there. Luckily, this four-way carpet, I've got some more of that, so I can cut that nice and I can retrim this, and where I've cut this, I'll just retrim over it with carpet. But for now, I'm going to change this latch. Like everything else on a Volkswagen, it's a 12-point star, so I've got some of those. I'll grab one of those and we'll undo this and I'll take this out. Right, if you're interested, it's an 8mm 12-point star to take it off. I suppose having this slot cut here makes it a lot easier for me to take it off and put the new one on. I can just take this little lever off and I'll put that back on later with the new one. It's nice and easy to get in there. It's got a little plug there just to put a light on the dash, so we've got to unplug that and then it'll all come off. Right, there we are, it's off. I've found the issue as well. Whatever this is, this was floating around inside and it had jammed it all up. Now it pulls up and it releases, but it's no good because obviously I've cut it off. Right, there we are, there's the new one. This is just one of those cheap Chinese ones from Amazon. I'll put a link below actually if you want. I don't know how good it is, but it's obviously better than that one, so we'll manage. I'll stick this one on and then we'll have a look. That's it on. I had some trim, these little bits, some little bits of plastic sticking out the back that stopped it going into place. So I just cut those off with some little cutters. Okay, let's try it out. Super bright sky today, so it's not really helping too much. If I push that back and then push this up, there we are. That's working okay. Handle on the outside. Working good. Oh, I just need to trim these bits of carpet up. Right, there we are already. The big test. Okay, had to trim a little bit more off the back of that because this plastic cover was sticking out and it was holding this curve so it wouldn't go back far enough to double latch. It seems to have fixed it. It's closing now. Hard work to close this because I've got the uprated gas struts on there for when I had the bike rack. I need to change those back actually for standard ones because it's quite hard to push down. But it's working now anyway. Not the best latch in the world. Obviously an original one will be better. I'll not bother putting a link in for this one because it's not great. I'm going to leave that like that for now because I really can't be bothered to build it up today. But at least the latch is working again. I'm going to change the battery on the camera and then we'll have a look at this pipe and I'll tell you what's wrong with that. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Let's open up the front. Ah, crap. I need to move it backwards first. Right, that's better. They do actually fit better. I've just need to take the MR2 backwards a bit, and the Fiesta needs to be nearer the end of the drive. Right, one day last week, before I bought the Fiesta, I was using this for work, and I noticed when I was driving an excessive amount of black smoke. It was dripping oil out, and I had like a hissing noise, like a boost leak. What I eventually managed to do was trace it down to that pipe there, had a hole in it. What it was doing, it was over boosting, creating a load of oil to come out of here, go into the intake, and it was a lot of black smoke. So what I did, just temporary, is I used some gaffer tape just to cover the hole up, and it stopped the smoking, stopped the oil. So let's take this pipe out. Right, you just pull this clip up just like that, and then pull the hose out. I need 2 hands to do it, so I'll put you down a minute. Pipe's out. You can see where I taped it up. The split was right underneath. It was like a little cut there. You can still see there's some oil sat in that pipe. I think it's quite normal anyway, but there was a lot more than that before. Replacement hose. This is a genuine Volkswagen one. So we just take these caps off. We just push in the end and push down those clips, and then it's done. There we are, all in. They take a bit of working in because they have these notches in, so they only go in one way, so you have to give it a little twist backwards and forwards and get them to push in. Once they're right in, then the clip drops down and they're locked in. All done. I can already see the engine started to dry up a little bit now from oil. It was coming out of here and everywhere because of the overboosting. So hopefully it's settled down a bit more. These have a diaphragm in the bottom, so this might be damaged yet, so it might be letting a bit more through than what it's supposed to. We'll find out. What I might do actually is fit a little oil catch can there, because it is getting on a bit now, this engine. The top end's new, as you've seen in my previous videos, but the bottom end is 230,000 miles, so it is letting a bit of oil pass the rings, I suppose. Right, so that pipe's changed. The back door latch is working, so I think I'm going to leave that for today. I'll rebuild this back door, sort that out, tidy that up, and we'll get back later with some videos on this. I really still want to get the whole car grey, which once we've got the garage sorted out, we've got a bit of workshop, I'll have a space to spray then, and we can do that. I've also got some gear I need to review, so we'll do some videos on that as well. Okay, completely changed my mind. I'm just tidying up. I've rebuilt all this back door up here. Everything's back to normal. The only thing that isn't is this trim here, because I had to break it. If anybody wants to comment below what the name of that trim is, because I have searched for it and I can't find it. I don't know what it's called. Right, hopefully you can see there I've built everything back up again. Everything's back on the back door now. I've repaired this bit of carpet just around here. I've put some more on. I've used some of this trim fix spray glue, and I've stuck on this carpet. I've cut it out and just fitted it in there. People don't normally trim this bit anyway because it always looks a bit rough around the edges, but I did it, so I've redone it again. Looks okay, I suppose. So everything's back to normal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll catch you guys later. Cheers. Really need to start doing something on that again.